On August 3rd, President Zelensky of Ukraine congratulated the Ukrainian military on a series of recent successes. These successes notably included large-scale drone strikes on significant targets within Russian territory. While Russian sources reported that they managed to intercept over 90 drones, complete interception is unlikely with such scale of attacks. According to Ukrainian reports, these strikes successfully targeted crucial infrastructure in Russia, including oil depots and refineries, and also struck the Sevastopol naval base anew. Several of Russia's most advanced S-400 air defense missiles were reportedly destroyed during these operations. In addition to these attacks, Ukrainian military intelligence director Budaev announced plans for another assault on the Kerch Bridge, an area that has been repeatedly targeted by Ukraine since the conflict began. This bridge has faced significant damage from Ukrainian attacks, causing substantial discomfort for Russia. Budaev's declaration of intent to further pressure Russia by attacking the bridge is anticipated. Amidst these assaults, an intriguing event occurred when the Russian Defense Ministry announced that a Russian submarine, the Donbass-Ban Rostov, had been successfully sunk. This submarine was an improved version of the Kilo class, known for its familiarity to our Navy, having once imported similar models. The new feature was the integration of smart torpedoes, allowing it to serve both as a missile and a conventional attack submarine. This upgrade significantly boosts the capabilities of the Russian Navy, particularly in terms of cost-effective deployment of submarines capable of launching cruise missiles. Notably, the same submarine was heavily damaged by Ukraine last September, leading to jubilation among some Russian enthusiasts who acknowledged its probable retirement. A closer look revealed that this was actually the same submarine that was severely damaged last year, now definitively sunk. This event likely forces Russia to invest in new construction, regardless of cost, rather than attempt to repair the vessel. Meanwhile, the pattern observed is that whenever Ukraine launches large-scale attacks and widely publicizes them, it often coincides with the Russian military experiencing success on the battlefield. This pattern is evident in recent developments where the Russian military made significant advances, particularly in the Donetsk region, notably in the IVK sector. Over the past few weeks, Russian forces have pushed forward along the railway line and expanded their presence in the area now referred to as New York by Ukraine, demonstrating aggressive territorial gains. This strategic approach, which was costly early in the war due to potential encirclement, now seems more feasible for the Russian military, indicating a significant reduction in Ukrainian forces' capacity on the battlefield. The extent of these military operations' impact remains to be seen, but it underscores the dynamic shifts in power dynamics between the two nations. Many enthusiasts of military affairs have expressed that the Ukrainian army's strategy of conceding space to gain time and gradually retreating to wear down the Russian forces is reasonable. Is this indeed a correct approach? The question then arises why viewing Russia's continuous advancement as a demonstration of battlefield superiority seems misguided. To understand this, we must broaden our perspective. Looking at the overall situation along the Donbass front, intense fighting is primarily concentrated in the north, where the Russian forces are making slow but steady progress from Sorod to Shivelsk. The key area of focus for the Russian offensive appears to be the city of Avivka. The Russians have advanced onto the ridgeline of Donetsk, targeting Chashivoi and Konstantinivka, which lies behind it. They are pushing towards Red Village, often referred to as Red City, along the railway. The most significant tactical gains have been observed around Red City, a crucial Ukrainian logistical base. This city is strategically located at the intersection of east-west and north-south railroads, facilitating efficient transportation of combat supplies. It is connected by a major highway directly to Konstantinivka, which is north of a cluster of four large cities that form a densely populated area. These cities represent a formidable defensive stronghold for Ukraine due to their ability to provide extensive resources and substantial supplies for defense operations. It is evident that the Russian strategy aims to capture Reed City, dismantle Ukraine's primary logistical hub, and then encircle the city cluster through simultaneous advances from both the north and south, thus avoiding potential heavy losses from direct assault on such a vast urban complex. Achieving this goal is fraught with challenges. If Russia intends to execute a coordinated offensive from both directions, its current capabilities are limited. The northern front is still in the planning stages, while the southern one shows some signs of progress. Further up the map, the recapture of Izium and Dage or Lvivka in September 22 by Ukrainian forces suggests that the northern offensive may be distant. A southern advance might take years based on the current pace of Russian attacks. Success in this strategic maneuver could force the Ukrainian forces defending the city cluster to abandon their positions. The ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia presents a complex scenario where the outcomes hinge on strategic decisions by both parties. The possibility of either side conceding territory or engaging in negotiations is uncertain but appears more likely, as Ukraine might be exhausting its military resources, leading to a situation where it is compelled to negotiate peace terms with Russia. A recent report from Deutsche Welle highlights the severity of this issue, revealing that from January through July, an astounding 24,000 instances of desertion were recorded within Ukraine's armed forces. This number, while subject to severe penalties including imprisonment for up to 10 years, underscores the immense pressure currently exerted upon Ukraine's military ranks. Comparisons to previous years further illustrate the growing trend of desertion, indicating a significant weakening of Ukraine's military capacity over time. This shift in Ukrainian rhetoric suggests a possible shift in their stance towards peace. Previously, President Zelensky was firm in his directive against negotiations until all Ukrainian territories were reclaimed. He now openly expresses interest in hosting a second peace summit in November, inviting Russian participation, a stark contrast to his earlier stance. This move reflects a recalibration of Ukrainian priorities, possibly due to mounting military challenges or the realization of the prolonged conflict's costs. Despite facing internal pressures, it appears less inclined to continue the conflict, given its perceived advantages and the diminishing benefits of further engagement. The disparity in the stakes and objectives between the two nations exacerbates the challenge of reaching a mutually agreeable peace settlement. Instead, Russia seems poised to escalate pressure on Ukraine, aiming to secure more favorable terms for peace negotiations, taking advantage of its superior resources and capabilities on the battlefield. In summary, the dynamics of the conflict suggest a delicate balance between military resilience and diplomatic maneuvering. As both sides navigate these complexities, the outcome hinges on their ability to adapt strategies that might lead to a sustainable resolution, reflecting a nuanced understanding of their respective positions and the evolving landscape of the conflict.